introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. My name's Willie Strange, Jr. I've been with Nature's Formula since the beginning. My dad's the one that invented it. I helped him a lot whenever we were doing environmental cleanup. So I know a lot about microbes and the process of Nature's Formula. That's why I came on board. I'm the Chief Operations Officer of Nature's Formula.
So you just recently came on board more substantial full-time and stuff. Why did you choose to do that?
Well, because my dad had health issues and he wasn't able to do the job that he normally does. Therefore, he and I had a meeting about it, and I'm a welder by trade, and I had a welding business, and I shut down my welding business and came over here to Nature's Formula, not just to help my dad, but also because I believe in the products, and I've seen them work amazing things for people, so I came over here.
And then what's your role within Nature's Formula?
I'm the Chief Operations Officer. I run everything in the field for Nature's Formula.
Okay, now talk about the beginning of Nature's Formula, like how were you involved at the very beginning, and just how has, what have you seen the company as it's grown and stuff?
In the early 90s, my dad and I were cleaning up oil spills using microbes. And we noticed that the microbes we were using at the time made grass grow on all of the sites that we cleaned. So my dad did further research and found microbes that worked for growing things in the soil. And he put together BioSure Grow and kind of grew from there. But that's our root startup was BioSure Grow. Then he's seen a need in cattle for probiotics in cattle and helping things like that. He's basically, when someone comes to him with a problem, he comes up with a solution, a microbial solution for the problem.
It's like in those early days when doing bioremediation. Tell us some stories about that, of just you and your dad and stuff.
We were able to clean up one particular site that comes to mind is one in Newark, New Jersey. We cleaned up. It had standing oil about 6 inches deep, and in 30 days we cleaned it up to non-detect on oil. And people don't realize how powerful a microbe is until you actually use one. And they do their job they're supposed to do no matter what. And so when we decided to come up with the BioSure Grow, we tested it probably for a good 10 years before we ever came to market with it. Neighbors using it, friends using it, things like that. We did a few shows for rose garden people, and they used it quite a bit. And so he got all of the bugs worked out before he ever came to market with it. And since he's come to market with it, in my opinion, anybody that has ever tried BioSure Grow never goes back to conventional fertilizer.
So tell us about putting BioSure Grow actually together. What was that process like? You said it took 10 years to work everything out and stuff. Just tell us a little bit about that. Those 10 years.
In the 10 years, we never had a failure from the product. It just, we enhanced the smell of the product, the looks of the product, and little things that wouldn't mean anything to you or I, but it may mean something to somebody else. So that's the kinks we worked out was things like that. It wasn't, the product always worked the way it works today.
And then how did you, were you involved in helping put together the product and finding the right microbes, or?
That was mostly my dad that did all of that. I did all of the blending and all of those things with him, but as far as the research and actually doing, coming up with the microbes and making the microbes, he did that himself.
So now let's talk about when he formed Nature's Formula as a company itself and took it to market. Were you involved at all then with the company, or just kind of on the sidelines? And
kind of on the sidelines. I sold it, off and on for him. If I meet someone and I see that they have a need for it, I'm going to talk to them about it, regardless if I was with Nature's Formula or not. But like I said, here in the last year, I've really been involved in it a lot more than I was then.
And I guess what did you think when he started Nature's Formula and shared his dream and vision for the company and stuff?
I think his heart's in the right place with the company. When he came to market with it, I think it was 2013. That was when the commercial fertilizer skyrocketed. The price went way up. So when he was watching, I think the RSV channel, and they were talking about how fertilizer prices were high and they were going to go up even higher, he came up with our company motto was, we're going to help people make money farming, and the way to do that is by saving them money on the products that they use. So, in my opinion, what he's doing is amazing for people, because he's able to help people actually become profitable farmers.
So yeah, we've been in business since 2013. Nature's Formula has. How have you seen Nature's Formula change in those 9 years since and grow?
Well, it's a funny story. I always tell people this, and most people laugh, but it's the truth. I would say 99% of our sales reps were actually customers to begin with. So we have quite a few sales reps now that were customers in the beginning, and to me that testifies to the product itself. Is these guys believe in it so much that they want to help other people see what the product can do for them.
Do you got any good stories about the early days of your dad on the road always and stuff with Nature's Formula?
The only story I would think of that would come to mind it's actually a funny story. Is when we first came to market with the product, we had a guy that we knew really well. He had a bald spot in his yard, and my dad gave him a 55-gallon drum of Sure Grow to fix his bald spot. But he told him, instead of putting it just on the bald spot, he had to broadcast it all over his yard once a week, which anybody that uses Sure Grow knows that that's a lot of Sure Grow, and your grass will continually grow. He ended up wearing out 2 lawnmowers mowing his grass, and he didn't find the joke nearly as funny as my dad did, but I think that's an amazing story about my dad. He was helping the guy fix the bald spot. The bald spot wasn't there anymore, but man, his grass was growing. So I think that, my dad's a pretty serious guy when it comes to the products and all that, but it just shows how good of a friend he really is. He helped the guy fix his yard, even though it was in a joke that he did it.
Since coming on full time, I guess what has been your favorite part about doing that?
Coming on board here, it opened my eyes to how the passion that my dad has to help people, and it renewed the passion that I had to help people as well. There's no greater feeling when you can actually know that when you leave somebody's house, you've actually helped them improve on their farm or ranch, and help them make money with it where they weren't making it before.
You got any favorite stories so far with the Sure Grow since coming on full board and being out in the field more?
One story comes to mind. There's an older gentleman out of near Cuero, Texas, that I went and seen, and he, unlike a lot of people, he was really ahead of his time in his ranching and farming career, and he understands the way microbes work in the soil. So it wasn't really hard to sell him the product. He just didn't see the results that he figured he would see because he wasn't getting the rain that he wanted to get. So by the time I had gotten to his place, he had already gotten the rain. But I spent almost all day there talking to the man about the products and about those things, and he was so excited about how fast his grass grew when the rain finally did come. He said I don't know for a fact because I wasn't there to see it, but he said it grew 6 inches overnight.
Any favorite stories that you've with the cattle products or anything?
One particular story comes to mind is a really good friend of mine was using liquid feed, and he was spending roughly $2,000 a month on liquid feed. The cows was pretty much eating him out of a house and home. So I told him about the liquid feed additive that we have, and I told him that once you got the cow's gut right, that they would consume less liquid feed, and in the long run, it would save him money. It's $95 a gallon. And he said, man, I don't know if I could spend $95 more dollars. And I said, well, you're already spending $2,000. What's another $100? And so he did that, and he wound up. I think he spends like $2,000 every 2 months now, almost, or pretty close to that. So the savings on the $100 up front saved him about $2,000 on the back end. So he understands the value of the Nature's Formula products via that. Now he uses, when he works his cows once a year to wean calves, they all get drenched in Lone Score, MB1. He uses mineral with the fly control, all of the products, just because he used the liquid feed additive one time.
What do you see as Nature's Formula's role within the future of agriculture?
I think that in the very near future, with the way fertilizer prices are going up and continually going up, I think that Nature's Formula is going to be a front runner in the agriculture industry, strictly, not just on performance, but strictly because of the price. Our price has been $15 a gallon since 2013, and it's our company mission that we're not raising the price at all. So I believe that we're going to become a household name in almost every agriculture house across the country because of that.
And with that being said, what is your goal within Nature's Formula? Where do you want to be a part of taking Nature's Formula to?
I would like to be able to take Nature's Formula to the next level, which is, nationwide, almost every farm. I would love to see and take Nature's Formula to where we're the next, Scott's fertilizer, and people view us as like I said, a household name that everybody, oh yeah, we need to go pick us up some Nature's Formula, is my goal. And I think that in the near future, that's an achievable goal.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.